Good morning. Welcome back to my sewing room. It is finally getting warmer outside. We planted some seedlings the other day, so that calls for making something a little bit more springtimey. So I'm going to make another version of the truly Victorian walking skirt pattern. I made one of these last April as well, so I guess April is just Victorian Skirt Month around here. You can pretty much go ahead and blame Joann Fabric for this project because I was in there getting yarn, actually the yarn that I used for this, and I was like, let's just take a little peek in the fabric section. You don't need to buy anything. Anyways, you can probably see how well that worked out because I saw this fabric and I was like, I require it. So here we are, but I think it's going to make a wonderful skirt, and what I'd actually like to do is make not just a walking skirt, but also like a shawl. Victorian era clothing has a lot of great like little shawls and capelets, stuff like that, and I just think it would be really cool to have a skirt and a matching shawl and then wear it with a coordinating shirt and have, you know, a whole little ensemble. So basically that's the goal. Before we get started on actual flat lining, you may have looked at the lining fabric and thought, this looks a little bit silly. You are correct, it is a little bit silly. I actually bought this to back a quilt that I was making for my best friend, and I was looking around for fabric that had stars on the back of it, and I couldn't find any, and I finally found this. So I bought 2.5 yards of it, and then literally the next day I found a much better fabric that was actually blue because the quilt was blue and yellow and this is purple. So then I was kind of stuck with this in my stash for a while, and I was like, you know what, it's close enough to the purple of the fashion fabric here. I'm actually going to finally make use of this. So that's why I'm lining this with a patterned fabric. I just wanted to use something up that I knew that I was not going to use for literally anything else. Welcome to day 2 of the filming, which, by the way, is not day 2 of the project, because I timed all of this, and prepping each one of the panels takes about 2 hours. So that's 14 hours of prep work since there's 7 panels. So I did the majority of that off camera, and now it's finally time to take some tacking thread, pins, and pin the front and the side front panels together. Hello! I thought I would do some outside sewing today because it's finally feeling more like springtime. Azaleas are blooming, and today we're basically gonna work on some finishing edge stuff before I'm ready to put the front half and the back half of the skirt together. So the first step is to hem down the interfacing. Because I used a single-sided, not a double-sided interfacing, I need to attach it at the top. I would have needed to hem down the seam allowances anyways, but it is a little bit more extra work this way. The next step that I'm doing is hemming down the seam allowances. I did take a quick break off camera to just go ahead and trim them down and press them over. Hello, it is pockets o'clock. Very, very important time in any skirt making endeavor. Sorry about the lighting in here, it's kind of weird because it's very cloudy outside, but that will not deter us from putting pockets into the skirt. Hello! We are getting down to the final couple of days of the project. The only things that I really need to still do are a lot of finishing on the inside of the skirt and then adding the waistband and adding closures. So the first thing I want to look at is the pockets. The way that I finished the pockets in the Victorian skirt that I did last year, I found to be very tedious and I kind of hated it, so I wanted to do something a little bit different for this one. What I decided to do was, instead of cutting one of the seam allowances, trimming it down, and then folding the other one over and folding that whole thing underneath, I'm going to fold the seam allowances in towards each other. To finish the edges for the pocket, I had to get a little bit creative because obviously I can't just do normal felling, since normal felling means that you have to kind of anchor the stitches to something else, and I can't do that since this is literally just folded over onto itself. And I didn't really want to do whip stitching, so that means that I could choose between 2 stitches, blanket stitch, and back stitch. And I actually went ahead and timed myself. I found out that back stitch took slightly longer, which means that blanket stitch is the winner. So for blanket stitch, step 1 is move the needle over and put it through the fabric, and you're basically making just a loop, and then you're going to draw the loop down a little bit, and then basically you're going to bring the needle through right at the edge of the fabric, like as close to the edge of the fabric as you can make it, like that. and then you're going to draw it through, carefully handling the loop so you don't over tighten it. And once you've got it like that, a lot of the directions will tell you just to move on from here. What I like to do to make sure that it stays in this nice square shape is to put the needle through one more time, just to like make a little extra loop to hold that in place. Yes, it is fighting me currently. No, I do not want to stab myself underneath the thumbnail, so I'm being a little bit cautious with it. There we go. All right, and ta-da, that is blanket stitch. Good morning. So on this cloudy, rainy Saturday, we have two goals. First, I'm going to put on the waistband, and then going to work on hemming. All right, let's match these up. Directions say it's now time for pleating, which is not my favorite thing in the world, but we will get through it together. So basically for this, with the pleats, it's supposed to end, the waistband ends at this notch right here. I don't know if you can see it, it's kind of small. And then all the rest of this excess has to get gathered into this, pleated into this little space, which is a lot. His Lordship is here to inspect the work. Hello, sir. Okay, well, we'll see if this works or not. Excuse me, sir. I do need my pins. Thank you. Down now to press them before I actually do the stitching. And for this one, if you're using cotton fabric, which I am, you definitely want to use cotton thread, because if you use polyester thread and the setting on the iron for cotton, your thread's gonna melt and it will be a bad time all around. So after several hours, it's finally time to stitch the waistband. In Victorian walking skirts, to finish the waistband, it's literally asking me to fold it over twice and then fold the whole waistband over the top. I haven't pressed it down the center yet, by the way. And then basically it's going to just come over the stitching here, and then it'll look like this. And the only thing left after that is closures and taking out all of the tacking, because I still have all the tacking everywhere in here. But yeah, this is really close to done. I'm pleased. I had to move some stuff around in order to do the ironing, and just Angus has decided to take up residence on the fleece. He's so cute. So the last step for today is to start turning the bottom hem underneath, pressing that, and then just start tacking it down. For that, regular viewers of this channel may know that the best tool is Idrit's Easy Hem, and that I, despite the fact that it's been almost a year, I'm still using a ruler. Here we go. I think the best part about using an easy hem is that it's got a curved edge, which this has not, but... Hello! I am posting this video 2 weeks late. So I originally meant to post this on the 30th of April, and then our internet went out and we tried troubleshooting it, resetting the router, restarting everything, nothing worked. We were very flummoxed, and we finally had to call our ISP, our internet service provider, and have them send a technician out, and it turns out that they said it looked like something had chewed on the wires. So obviously I could not upload, and you may think that that would have been a great time to edit all of this content, and that's not what I did. I just did more sewing. Sorry. So that was Friday. This is now, Friday was when we got it repaired. This is now Sunday. I'm hoping to upload it tomorrow, which is Monday, possibly on Tuesday, depending on how long it takes me to edit. But the upside to this is that it means you guys get another video in just a few weeks, because I've already started my next project while I was in the process of waiting for the internet to be repaired. Anyways, please enjoy the reveal. Sir, I do need my hand. You cannot always groom me during sewing.